Today it is do or die, fighting for a spot at Masters London. It is NRG!
I mean, this is a team that have just proven themselves time and time again when it comes to these high-pressure matches. It's elimination on a line, but it just goes off their back genuinely like water off a duck. This team always seem to perform under the pressure. They always have great ideas on a day-to-day basis. I think they do it better than any team that we've got in Americas. And part of it as well is, I think, the flexibility of Kiko as a player. He's probably going to be quite pivotal with the amount that they've been making him play these flexible roles, whether he's on smokes or duelists. But as an individual, we kind of highlighted it earlier on the desk, but he has just been excelling for this team where they've needed him to be this kind of glue player. Normally, you see these flexible players, they don't end up hitting as well because they have to just cross so many different roles. But not the case for Kiko, and NRG have just been thriving because of it.
Yeah, and you see Mitch there as well. I think he's going to be a really important pickup. Having an Expo player on staff is really important.
And now let's bring their opponents buscando barrer el lower bracket. Démosle la bienvenida a KRU.
This team coming into playoffs as the highest seed, the only team to win 4 games in groups, but they've fallen off just a little bit, but that doesn't mean that you cannot see the star power on these guys. Every single game, we've seen players like Les and Sadak always step up to the plate and being able to kind of be those rocks that the team needs. But I think against a team like NRG today, we're really gonna see Sadak's IGLing kind of shine, because in this game, there's gonna be a lot of push and pull. There's gonna be a lot of anti-stratting like we talked about earlier, and I'm looking towards KRU to have the better game plan coming into this, because the way that they looked was not the KRU that we've seen in groups before.
Yeah, they really did get clocked, I think, by G2, just figured out.
Yeah.
And it's tough to bounce back from that as well, and just trying to take away from losses like that what actually was working, because G2 kind of just had the perfect read, the perfect form, everything else. The map was going to be really interesting with this one. So, seeing Lotus escape the pool, I mean, you were teeing it up, man. You were saying you don't think that they should go towards Lotus because you think that'll be a loss. They've stayed away from it, the map that has consistently got them wins all stage so far, and they haven't gone for it.
Yeah, I think it's a really good choice, honestly. And going to the Haven, they looked a little shaky, but I think they'll be fine. I think Ascent's the big one. If we can get there, I think it'll be a really good map to watch.
Let's talk about this first one, Breeze, though, right? I mean, because like neither team has been outstanding on Breeze particularly. Why pick it?
Probably footage. They probably have a read. They probably know where they're going with it. I'm not sure what that read will be.
You know what my read is for this? Ethan on KO. That's why they picked it.
Yeah.
Every time he plays this map and he's on KO, he just flashes for himself and somehow gets 3 every single time they do any sort of mid split on this. So I think this makes sense for NRG. I think they've looked really good, but I mean, for KRU's side, I'm wondering a little bit, because we've only seen them play this twice.
Yeah, they're very proactive again, as they always are most maps on Breeze.
Yeah.
But the recent example, I think they were doing a lot of, you know, A main pushes to try and like hold that control of it rather than just playing the full retake style on Ada. A lot of teams do pushes out of double doors, things like that. And that was kind of hard read by G2. And I'm curious, which direction did they go into? Did they double down? Did they go all in still onto this style of just trying to push and take the fights with that confidence? Or did they now start to try and evolve as a team overall? And we see them out of Harbor again, as per usual. Kiko on Jet has been shining sometimes whenever he's been put onto this role. And even on the KO as well is a pretty signature pick for this guy, I think. Just harken back to the days when this guy was playing CS, really. Like, he just puts it into a comfort position. But I think it also is a comfort position with a double initiator for NRG. They love to have that mid-round information.
Yeah.
Just a knife against the back wall, catching a couple of players as they're about to exec, is playing exactly into NRG's wheelhouse.
Yeah, and I think on the other side with KRU, I don't think they're going to change much, keeping it the same. Dante on the Neon, I think, for me, is the biggest thing to be watching for this game, because I'm kind of interested to see if they're going to start setting him up more, setting him up for success a little bit more, or if they're going to keep doing a lot of those proactive things and just hoping that Dante kind of just gets his kills.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping they just go into a making space again and not relying on him, because like I said, I think Sadak and Les are the big keys to the victory.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what both of these teams have in store for us, excuse me. Let's get into the first map of this elimination match and send it over to your casters. Here's Mimi and Ender.
Out of NRG and KRU, only one can stay alive after this series today. And for KRU, our best team during the group stage, our only team that was 4-1, their lives are on the line. And for NRG, things looking good after the other day, the revenge arc underway.
Yeah, they got the team that beat them in the first round of group stage out of this tournament in FURIA, and now a second chance against a KRU who beat them in week 2. That was the loss that put them on this long path to begin playoffs in the lower bracket. But now that former opponent back to beat them.
NRG have absolutely been on a tear, but it's time for match start, presented by Samsung OLED Breeze. The location for our first bout here with NRG and KRU. It'll be NRG on the attack side. The last time these teams faced off, it was the duelists that were the difference. Dante absolutely smacked down Mata, but on this map, Mata will be on the harbor, and it's Kiko's jet that's looked so strong.
It's KRU coming off a loss to EG on this map, trying it again. And well, this round, they start with a free A site. They like fighting deep in these post lines, looking to disrupt that retake.
NRG have 3 players flashing on through the wall. That's a good stun to slow down the approach from NRG, and Les has already continued that success. He was the individual star in yesterday's loss. KRU now in a 5-on-3, but still, Kiko waiting around the corner with that Sheriff. Lands his bullets, and now the rest of NRG are here. Brock with a couple of kills. Brings it down to a 1-on-2 now for Scuba.
Spike finally getting planted for Sidok, but he doesn't know. He thinks this is a flank.
Yeah, and his teammate MW was checking out double doors in mid. No comfortable plant yet.
But now with that awareness, they can double up, back away.
Okay. We go over towards the B site. Now Scuba has his wall set up here for main. Likely we end up seeing KRU play on site regardless as he scouts out this site and realizes there's no one left here.
Scuba still the healthiest man in the server. He's been good in a lot of these clutch rounds. But with the run all the way over to the B side, he will not have a lot of time to figure out KRU's setup.
Sheriff shots, not quite enough to take out MW with 1 to the body. And KRU playing this in an interesting way. Sadok stepped back into spawn, a risky move, but seeing no one there makes it so much simpler for KRU to hold in this post.
MW has that next layer of the dart. That'll make things even harder for Scuba.
NRG were kind of dominating recently in the pistol rounds. But this one is going to be real tough. There's not a lot of time to play with. Scuba, no orb left, and now he's getting pinged up. Sadok comes around the corner, and KRU will take this opening pistol.
That round was an interim disaster. Sadok looking the wrong way back towards main. Eats a shot. But as soon as they have the information, they play that 2v1 very well. And managed to clean up off of the excellent work that Les did early on. I don't think you can understate how good he was yesterday. Sure, they ended up losing that match in 2-0 fashion, but on the Lotus in particular, there was probably 3 or 4 rounds that Les was just winning individually. And that's discounting the consistent 2Ks, the consistent space he's getting on the lurks. He was just a monster, and he has been on stage.
Yeah, I think he's been a monster for the last 5 years. Don't know when this guy's taking a break from it.
Just incredibly consistent.
That's been the reliant piece KRU can always count on.
Well, NRG have the right stack on this eco round. They've avoided the knife.
KRU just inching their way up behind the drone for now as a deep harbor wall. Not going to block off these 3 players back site. Dante still not into it, and he has an outlaw in his hand too. Weird position for him to be with that gun. It's not going to matter with the support behind coming in clutch for KRU. Dealing with those pistols, no problems. And Scuba this time, now in that 1-on-5 and quickly dealt with.
KRU recognized the threats really well there. And it's a flawless anti-eco to follow up. A lot of what I'm going to be watching for in this map is what learnings KRU took from the EG game. They didn't end up losing that series. They barely scraped it out on the 3rd map. But I think that had to be the wake-up call for this squad. An EG who was winless to that point, who just didn't look like much of a threat at all. And I think they made a lot of mistakes in how they were playing. They talked about that, how that was a big moment for the team to turn it around. Sonic even saying that they were kind of happy to lose map 1 of the series in the way that they did.
Need to wake up now for playoffs. Now they find themselves in the lower bracket, and that's a good flash out of NRG. Ethan sets up his duelist perfectly for that opener.
He's just so comfortable when he plays this KO. Always on point with the utility. And now for KRU, a tough situation to navigate. No dive to get out of this choke, and a wall, mollies to continually stall you out here.
Scuba chooses to fall off the angle and step up closer. take down Sadak. Now that flash just not too helpful with that wall in the corner. Another one through it, quickly turned from Scuba. Individual mechs on point here for NRG as they hold down the line and even play with that little gap against the wall for a flawless return to the board for NRG.
Nice anchoring from Scuba. It looked like Sadak was almost playing the way he does on Omen, just trying to jump through that smoke and create space. But he gets caught early here with no one else really pathing up with him. And then that slowing effect, even combined with the flash, gives time for Scuba to always be an advantage in that.
Scuba feeling good there, and why not? After shutting down KRU, stop this from getting out of hand early on. See what the adjustment ends up being. That round, of course, started with the nice pop flash into mid, and the kill against KRU. KRU seemed to avoid that for now, just doubling up if that peek comes in.
NRG love playing for mid. You'll see Mata on this Harbor try and walk into this position, look to fight through.
There's that pop again. A good flash catching out Less, but KRU were holding it, so Ethan will be traded out in the end.
Still a 1-for-1 killing Less.
Ew,
okay.
Come on, Kiko, that was nasty.
Still had his dash. Decided to take another chance.
There's two players looking at him. Takes the head off, dashes away.
But they're still going. Gonna re-push towards elbow, continue to get information.
I love the early conditioning, just bullying KRU out of mid. Gonna make KRU so much more cautious to step in there in the future. That could end up eating up plenty of utility in these later rounds. While NRG changed their style.
Yeah, I've just had so much fun watching Kiko play Jet more for this team. You forget how good he was historically back in Europe.
I remember him back in 2023. I was casting him when he failed to qualify through Ascension for Apex. That was the big surprise back then. And of course the roll swap came in. Ends up finding himself over across the ocean with NRG.
And in this round on a great flank, his teammates will play slower backside, let him work on this.
Yeah, he's all the way back into main now. KRU in an awkward position. Sadak isolated from his teammates. Gets a dink onto Brock, but that's just not nearly enough to swing this round back for KRU. Especially now as Kiko activates on that flank. Pulls Dante's attention over so Mata can land the final blow.
So KRU has to start to learn some lessons about how they're approaching mid here. It was a very different look from NRG this time. They still went for that re-clear play. But what I loved was that once they backed up, they expected KRU to try and absorb that space that was just left, and that's exactly when Kiko strikes. Here's the opening pop flash play.
I want to watch this kill though again.
Yeah, this was the second layer. And because that cove is still up, he knows that he's completely safe to dash into it. There's no one that can spam. I love to see that confidence out of Kiko on defense.
Yeah, there's maybe a quarter of a second that you have to react if you're KRU to get that kill, otherwise Kiko's out of there. And now Kiko gonna go for the Outlaw purchase. 3 light armors on the other side, actually 4. Dante switches off of it. That would have been a problem if KRU were heading over towards the A site, but it will be a B finish for them. Slide on in from Dante already. Last time Scuba held this site perfectly, this time peppered by utility, but now the support comes in. Mata dealt with the player walking up through mid, now has that ultimate to try and get back into the site and support Scuba. Look at him. Look at how Scuba has worked around the map to play inside of the orb, and look at how NRG have shown up behind him. Silence is still in the back of sight, but still they haven't been able to flush out Scuba. Have no idea where he slithered off to. And this round just sapped away from KRU. Mata will finish the round again.
Such nice work there for NRG. I really like the way that they're throwing this harbor wall just vertically across the site. It gives like 4 different angles that Scuba can be playing. And you watch, even though he was not taking a huge amount of fights in this mid round, he was just existing.
Yeah.
You saw so many eyes from KRU that the player who was half full is looking back for Scuba. Guess what? Someone is swinging from spawn, killing you.
Exactly. Scuba runs all the way through backside, then comes back up into pillar, has an orb he can play in too. So yeah, I don't blame KRU for wanting to call a timeout here and figure out what's going on.
That shows to me that NRG have really recognized how KRU like to path on their attack side executes. They're almost always going to do that slide left side to try and fight the Viper back side. But Scuba's consistently been in a position where he's not tested by that initial slide and instead can refight when his harbor wall comes up. In this timeout though, what I want to see KRU looking at is new ways to approach mid. Because the reason everyone was there for NRG, the reason that harbor wall was there, is because NRG have owned mid control every round this half and have had incredibly fast rotations and have been able to use utility from that space pretty much untested.
Yeah, and you know, that could be as simple as having different ways of playing anti-flash, being a little bit quicker to respond, or even designating a bit more utility into clearing the space. They are running that double initiator setup, so have plenty of tools to scout out if anyone's going to be playing up behind a cove in mid or something.
It's also fine to take that space later in the rounds, look to play more for that re-clear. But either way, I think that's the biggest problem facing Sidak as the IGL here.
New angle for Kiko. Of course, just the pistols this round, so that Outlaw is going to hurt these players. Right now, Kiko's attention turned towards double doors, as the site just becomes a diagram of smokes. I mean, look at all these walls we're seeing. No one going to see each other for just a moment. Mata sticking around here.
Mata's wall lets them walk all the way around here.
Oh yeah, it's a fight over backside of all things. Kiko getting wrapped around from behind, but has the support in line. Mata is there and waiting. Pistol's just not quite able to fight back. Even a little bit of shots through smoke there, making it an easy round for NRG.
I think there might have been something cooking if they had rifles in that round, but with just the lesser guns and the kind of weird positioning that worked both ways. Sure, you get this timing to pop flash backside nice like that player, but Mata is also in a similarly weird position just behind you.
And so we head into round 7. 3 ultimates available for KRU. This is going to have to be a swing round for them. Stop the momentum and get something cooking. I was curious because Kiko for a moment had upgraded into an operator, but chooses against it. Instead, just a rifle in hand.
I think with the ults online, it would be tough to get off value here.
Yeah, there's just so many ways to block off vision. This time it's a little fake play in mid with that flash.
Condition that that's still a threat, even if the Jet's not behind it.
But KRU aren't changing really how they played. Les was a little bit maybe less aggressive, but you still have the 2 players bot mid holding for the swing.
This round, it's 4 players all together. There was a redrone B main. Now KRU walk back into that space. As NRG, similarly passive. Look at where the Viper's playing. Yeah. Out of range of that KO utility on either side. So we'll be able to get a wall up or get an orb up to defend.
That can quickly rotate back over towards B. I believe the orb is laying down on site to help Ethan get out from behind the wall. As the exec comes in from KRU, that stun, Rocket's in front of it, but only finds the KO. Ultimate already primed on that and instantly brought back into the fight. As Dante steps up, Ethan is still alive in backside, and Ethan is excellent. Still a nuisance for KRU to deal with, as Sadak realizes he no longer has cover of his wall. He doesn't even have teammates on site. He needs to get out of dodge.
Ethan still has an ult command. NRG have all the space they could want. Les has to be the playmaker here.
Re-clear from Ethan, flashing in. No player spotted yet as shots are exchanged. Ethan steps back into it, maybe a little bit too much. Up against Les, who lands another one. Has given his team a brilliant shot in this round now.
The IGL would need an ace to win it for NRG.
But Ethan was anticipating those players rotating away. So KRU have themselves a free site.
This is their best chance at a round win in a long time for KRU.
Ethan's still hanging around over on A. Was maybe thinking he wasn't in range to hear it if it had been planted there, but now realizes he's on the wrong side. Still a dart, too, for MW. Knife into backside. Tags the 1 player.
He reads the other's position.
Oh, I like this read from Ethan. Nades down, he needs to bait the fight, bait the one-on-one, but Sadak bests him in that. The round goes to KRU.
Shots a bit quicker from the other IGL. Sadak stepping up for his team, securing a pivotal one here. But this was a round all about Ethan, him charging in backside.
Ethan is locked right now.
Yeah, so is Les though. I was talking about all the different ways I'd like to see KRU approach mid. Turns out it is still just let Les dominate that space. He is so willing to walk into contested ground, be where you expect him to be, but he's still just confident enough to win the fights regardless.
That'll swing must-needed rounds for KRU. A lot of ultimates thrown into that one. As now Kiko has the operator out into mid, less under pressure. Kiko's not going to let him get out of here without a fight, and that shot is lethal. The rest of KRU had already started shifting away from A, trying to support Les in mid, but it's a little bit too late, and another body hits the floor. Could have nearly been a third there as well.
He's just not stopping. That's a give or take a Les. He'll win you around, and then he'll get flushed in that one. Still a chance for KRU. Yes. 3v5 on this site, but look at the ults available for this retake.
The ults are brutal for the retake, and with Scuba surviving, not overstaying his welcome in sight, maintains this numbers advantage. So the null command is out. Dante, the pivot player now, with a nice position on half wall. One kill already goes KRU's way, and the position is great. If KRU can stay alive for Dante, this flank is big, but Brock was holding on the other side. Now Sadak just taken down inside of the orb, and NRG mop up this round. A few brilliant shots from Kiko.
Their retakes have looked really solid throughout this map. And in this round, they're showing another good approach of how to deal with mid control. I don't think there is a round where Kiko has wanted to fight mid, where he has not gotten it and won it. It was a good setup for that one, and this second kill is just pure skill from him.
I love that we've seen 4 different mid looks, even though they're all very similar. The first one was a long-range pop flash that gets a kill. Then it was a right-click pop flash through a wall that's 3 people are fighting behind. Now we had a fake, now we had a real one where we're charging forward with the op.
And it's at different timings as well. That one came a bit later in the round to let Les walk into that corner.
Exactly. It's those layers that just make scaling feel so hard.
Alt ready to go, A main off contact. 3 players to fight from NRG.
This crunch here is brutal. If KRU tried to accelerate on Kiko, they've got other people ready to step up and fight, but KRU are intelligently not overstaying just yet. Playing a little bit deeper now, trying to pull out that Hunter's Fury. That was the idea, and it works, but a nice shot connects, and Kiko has found his behind it.
And there's a bait play. Mata still in that corner as Kiko backs away.
Yeah, continuing to fire off some shots. Dante now straight into Mata's waiting arms. And Monte's still there, still going to be a little bit of a problem. As KRU now find themselves scattered. Player double doors. MW on 45 HP less, though, still finds a way. Time after time. Now MW evens the score. And Kiko realizes now he's the one outnumbered. Just with the operator isn't quite quick enough yet. So it's Scuba now into the clutch.
He's far away from this one. We're walking back into mid. We'll first have to contend with Les.
Scuba stepping into him, but the angle not quite held. Snake Bite's traded. Has this one-on-one on the right side, but he's so cautious about another player swinging into him. Feel the pressure a little bit into this moment as they both come in, and MW watches this one go for KRU's 4th round.
That was such a good round from MW's there because it started excellently for NRG. Their trap play was well read. They were to punish these people in main. But the second the smokes fall, MW says, watch this drive, and takes down 3 of them there.
Now KRU within 1. And NRG changing their approach in a massive way. Setting up big over towards the B side. This looks a little bit more similar to that round they were fighting 3 players over mid with the flash out of the orb. See what the differences are. Les just not wanting to contest anymore.
Adding shield.
The A hits have been successful for KRU.
Cove broken. Now that wall comes up. I mean, KRU are just playing through the playbook right now, running these A execs. This time Dante pathing to the right side. And NRG trying to play for this whole retake.
They have the Harbor ult to do it. They still have all of their util held onto.
Yeah, but they're going to have to work through Les's Viper's Pit. That won't be so simple in backside, especially with an operator at play. Kiko might want to pull out the Blade Storm. It's time now for NRG to move into the side. A good flash sends them scattering, comboed with the dart. Now a Hunter's Fury. MW tries to light up a couple of players, spots them both, and lands the kill on Mata. Harbor out of it, but the spam is still there. Scuba tries his chances, jumping up. A shock dart kill on Les. Now the pit's going to fall, and the rest of KRU are playing off-site. What's the utility in the post plant? A nade and a couple of shock darts as Kiko gets onto the stick. KRU are landing the kills, but already half onto the spike is a problem now. With Ethan charging in, it's an ace for Brock out of nowhere. The spam to see this round through for NRG.
Did he see a single person he killed there?
I have no idea. He's landed shock darts to take people down low. Let's watch it again.
One blind.
That's a shock
dart
kill.
for 2. And that was the biggest player to take down the pitfalls. And here,
okay,
he
so
does
one
not let
player.
go.
Okay.
Wait, if?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking up here. What on earth was that?
The power of the Odin. And that's a risk. Those offsite post plants work when the pit is up and that util is amped by the decay. But it's so much worse once the pit falls and you're stuck behind a cove.
No time wasted for KRU. Path through this orb into mid. Mata out in the open, but a 1-for-1 is good enough. Brock just had the ace. Now still going for a little bit extra. Pulls away from that shot, and that'll cost him. Kiko switching over to the Blade Storm. It is NRG in a massive advantage.
Look at Scuba. He's walked out of his pit through A main, ready to seal them into mid.
KRU turn around. They read that the pit goes down. Takes Scuba down to 47 health, but again, KRU have been so battered by that early exchange. Just a couple of knives is going to be enough. And there they are. Kiko finds 3 into the round and a 7th for NRG.
NRG have dominated mid-control this entire half. And here, it's not a refight, it's instead just punishing their opponents as they go forth. I think that first kill onto Dante, he caught the edge of a team flash. Out of silence there, maybe just didn't quite turn it in time. That gives Mata the opener. And the trades from there, NRG collapsing into that space. It was just too quick to contend with.
Feels rather demotivating from KRU to go for an ace out of nowhere and then just get cut down in mid on a new look. Again, back into mid this time. The dive for double doors. Dante already into it. And a counter Hunter's Fury, that's Brock with that already online. Letting it rip into the doors. The spike now left out into the open as NRG just continue to lay down fire on this choke point. KRU don't stand a chance. That's 3 for Mata at the end of the half.
It just looks too easy for NRG. Whether it was the consistent wins in mid, whether it was the controlled late round retakes, this was clean from them across the board. I think they came into this map exceptionally well prepared. The protocols looked on point. And then you just have Kiko and Brock both taken over individually.
Yeah, as soon as we got the op and the Odin online, every round just trashed NRG, smoking them. We'll see on the other side of this break.
We got this old mattress.
Waterbed.
And the receipt.
How about you beat it with a better deal on one of these fresh setups?
We can't do that.
Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill for a better deal today.
Guess you're not as cool as Verizon.
I'm just gonna leave it.
We're sending 3 squads to Masters London, and you can see the competition live and in person at the Copper Box Arena. Starting June 6th, you can scan the QR code on your screen to score tickets for VCT's next global event.
Wow. And you know, I'm just sitting here thinking, should we buy all the tickets ourselves so that we don't have to subject these 2 men on the stage to this anymore? Or should we wait and force them to keep walking out in the uniforms?
You know, it is really tough to see what job you have to resort to after your team doesn't make playoffs.
No, it's nice though that IMI has a side hustle.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to have one, right? You know, Bren's on the analyst desk today. You know, he needs a little bit extra cash as well. So those 2 there doing their best work up on the stage, and you absolutely love to see it.
He missed his form for a second.
Wait, did IMI break? You can't break up there. That's how you get fired. That's how you get dropped. But we're jumping straight back into the game. NRG up 8-4 over KRU after a random Brock ace in the blink of an eye. Kiko excellent on the op. He's sitting 14-5 already after that first half.
So a critical one in Dante. Okay, that's exactly how you need to start for KRU.
And that's kind of what the previous matchup between these teams felt like. Dante was lethal on those opening kills. See what he does here is NRG have gotten in front of the orb. It's a great bait. Sadak and Dante working off each other beautifully. to clean up this round with ease.
Yeah, lovely 1-2 punch there. And Dante, he had a bit of a rough first half. Ended at 5-11 here, getting the confidence back early on. He's such a key piece of their defense. Not only with, obviously, his mechanical skill, but also that he's going to be involved in pretty much every fight. Rotates are just so quick when you're locking in this Neon. That's the biggest difference compared to the Jet, that he has to be in the right sites quickly. He has to have his relay bolt up.
Yeah.
And he also has to be hitting shots like that.
Hey, and killing the Soul, entry on the enemy team makes it so that that crossfire is unbreakable. You have no chance at clearing out Sadak in the corner. It's good work from him. And from KRU to win both pistols in this map. This would be a very different story had Scuba been able to clutch that opening pistol, or, and a KRU just not gotten half of their wins through taking these openers.
That's for sure.
Rifle rounds have to be an improvement for KRU. Already have Mata out of the equation. Off to a better start here. Now Sadak stepping back in there. Quick little two-piece from him.
Looking comfortable. This Brock happy to just get his orbs online. And face down the inevitable.
Okay, Dante having a little bit of fun there, bullying the classic. Good luck killing a jumping Neon with the classic.
Yeah, it's got to be cathartic, though, after he gets a random Odin ace on you where he sees one person. You deserve that.
I liked how Dante wasn't even sprinting. He was just kind of like jumping almost in place.
Shaking like a scared dog.
Yeah, Brock's probably like ready for him to go so much quicker, and then nope, he's not actually going anywhere. But KRU, just like in that first half, they win these opening two, and, well, if you look at the bottom of your screen, it was 4 in a row for NRG, dominating in the rifle rounds. Let's see if KRU can do anything here. They only have the one Phantom in Les's hands.
And already, NRG quite grouped towards the A side. KRU want to maybe refight this, though. Dante primed on the close corner.
Yeah, ready to slide around, but instantly taken out by Ethan. 5 suppressed. Can bring in some quick rotates from KRU, but at the same time, NRG just going to jig on out of there.
Dante's dead, though, in 20 seconds, so NRG are very happy to go back, re-clear space that they may have lost from a walk-up.
The difference here for KRU would be less. He stepped all the way up into B main. He's got the Soul Rifle for KRU, but I think Brock spotted him on a jump peak. That's going to make NRG more keen to just work back onto the A side, especially if they noticed what rifle he had in his hands.
Still 3 players on this A site, even with the lesser guns.
Sadak, master of the trade, even with the Marshal here and some nice utility. Kiko's on 6 HP, Silence already got 1, but Kiko on 6 can still be deadly when striking from the back. That'll be 1 from him, quickly traded out by MW. And a nice shot from Silence as well. I mean, KRU have shown up to this fight. Silence and Brock in a one-on-one. KRU are back in this game if Silence can win it. But Brock has been a beast. He sealed the deal on the first half, but 15 seconds left. Look where the spike is. He's got to go pick that up and plant it.
He just wants the kill. He needs the kill.
What a decision from Brock. Ignoring the spike, looking for the one-on-one, but he's lost time on this one. If Silence hears him stepping on forward, no way! Brock still gets it done! I cannot believe it.
That's insane to me that he wins that round. I thought the second he's stomping, you'd see Silence duck away and try and play time. But in the end, he takes the fight, and Brock steals the round away. And I think KRU played this eco quite well. Les getting proactive with the rifle on the extremity after they get the early info. And I mean, Kiko just dumbfounded that Brock gets away with that.
It was like that little stutter from Brock, where basically just his gun goes around the corner that started pulling bullets out of Silence's Spectre. And as soon as you hear that, the time to kill on Spectre is just not high enough. Brock can go for the swing, instantly take out his prey.
Yeah, it looked like Silence got kind of caught between decisions there.
Now, this is interesting, though, because I would have thought, the round is lost by KRU. KRU would call the timeout. No, it's actually NRG. Didn't have to use a timeout in the first half, but they choose to take one early on here in the second.
Yeah, it is really interesting to see out of Bunkar. It has been early losses in both of those rounds, right? The pistol where they just got completely cut down in main. That one, losing some players on their execute as well and having to rely on that clutch. So I think it might be some talk about their approach on how they're pathing, how they're trading together on these hits.
Try and fix these problems before it blooms into something like a real comeback.
And Bonkard loves calling these timeouts. Their game yesterday, he did the same thing. They lose one round in the second half well up. He sees something he doesn't like.
Yeah.
Timeout early on, get ahead of the problem. And out of that round, he had a complete change, a perfect read, and they ended up closing out the map dominantly. So excited to see if there's an adjustment here from NRG.
I mean, his reads have been excellent. One of them heading in here is, we're not going to actually buy anything up. It's all pistols behind the rifle that survived the previous round.
It was a tough economic decision to make.
Knife out there, and catches 3 players. Counter ultimate, that's Sawdock throwing that into the mix as now he steps up to play off his util. Nice job from him to take out the enemy duelist. But Mata has somehow made his way into the center of the site. He's in a good spot here, but his entire team is dying while he's stuck behind the other side of a cove. And that rifle not going to have a chance in this round. KRU within 2.
So Bonkard calls in, says, we're saving this round, play for the next, and, well, the lesser weapon's not good enough to close out here. KRU, nice job collapsing onto their anchors. Sidak, I think, got away with a lot. Ethan thought he had already tipped away, but he just re-challenges back through that smoke with basically no utility to set it up. He succeeds at it. I love how aggressive Sidak is willing to be when he's anchoring. It's especially true when he plays the Omen, but you see it here on the Harbor as well.
Deadly round online for NRG. Brock has the ultimate. Mata just one away. Easy to pick that up in A main, especially with how quickly NRG sees into the space. Viper wall already down, and KRU try to hold on with the Harbor wall of their own, but Kiko's already behind it. Quick work from NRG. KRU realizing the anchoring isn't quite there, but Sonic steps in and is instantly shut out. A difference to the last round. NRG collecting on these opening kills, and Kiko still a nuisance all the way in backside. KRU have 2 players try and come in through double doors, but NRG have brilliant positions to shut them down.
Les is hoping he can get anyone peeking in.
Yeah,
MW time is his...
decides to go all the way back around the world and play for some solo duels.
By the way, look how passive this defense is. It's only Kiko willing to jiggle forward for fights.
And even then, he was back orange at one point in the round and gets called back once NRG move up massive numbers.
After watching this round, I think it's worth noting that if they had decided to force that last round and lost, this would have been an eco, and that's the real chance for KRU to snowball back into the game.
Yeah, then you're looking at a tie game.
But
instead, a completely different situation.
You have NRG at the advantage, and the biggest thing I notice about that round is the difference in how these 2 teams have approached their flood retakes on A. For NRG, most of the time they're not actually flooding. They're instead looking to play back, respect their opponent's Harbor utility, and then once that drops, dump all the util. But you see here, Sidak very early uses the wall, stays on site, but his teammates don't actually rotate in time, so NRG are able to press into him, and then those remaining players have no tools left to even try and win the retake.
Yeah, it's almost like because KRU maybe have the Neon and they expect to have quicker rotations, they think they can hold on to that space, but in practice, it's just not actually coming to fruition for them. Now Dante chooses to go for the operator, playing a very passive line over towards A.
There's an outlaw bot on the other side. 4 players, 1 shot to Kiko's weapon.
KRU playing a pretty light B because their KOs walked all the way up elbow, but Ethan has done the same over on the A side. The IGL just stepping into it. Both are KOs of all things, the ones let off the leash in this round. Science quickly going to pull back to his team.
KRU look to re-clear mid. Post that operator up, but Dante can't find the mark.
Yeah, KRU have that Viper wall set up for mid. Also gives them a way to work back into this B site.
Look at Scuba, the timing on this wrap is everything.
Yeah, no one ready to catch him in mid. He's taking his time. Doesn't matter though with NRG winning the opener on this B site. Dante's so low as well. 31 HP. And KRU are divided again. Throw this wall to try and hold on to something, but it's just 2 players tucked away here. And NRG are so patient, so good at taking their time for all the utility to come down, the refreshes to come in, and that's when they strike. Little swing there. Dante strikes first, and now Scuba activates on that lurk. Kill up through tunnel. KRU realize they're getting pinched from multiple different directions. Post the op back onto the line, but even then it's not so clear. There's still NRG players on site. Les takes him down. And NRG are gonna need to plant this spike and deal with Dante.
Sodic's still a world away.
10 seconds remaining. That kill goes on to Scuba. NRG maybe took a little bit too long here before putting it down. And Brock now into the clutch. Sadak has him held. KRU will take this one.
Impressive that KRU come out with the win there. NRG stalled for their Sova Dart to come back online, and the initial refight off of that was good. But they didn't have enough tools to actually push all the way back site and complete the pinch on that player with the operator. The discipline from Dante here is great. Not greeting for a swing, not trying to make a play. He just waits, knows that they have to make the next move, and punishes it.
Really felt like that was going to be a round that would allow NRG to run away with the game. But now, KRU matching in the rifle rounds has kept them in this. And KRU's setup on the A side is real nice this round. 2 players up close, baiting for Dante's off on the deeper line. And already a flash through, tries to catch Silence with util in hand. Nearly was his demise, but for now, NRG stalled.
There was a null command used, but it gets stalled by the opponent knife. So the fight in mid, that's everything.
That is everything. Less on the other side of the wall, not being cleared away. No! He holds! He takes his time, and Mata strikes first.
He wanted a chance. MW looked like he could get a kill there.
No way, Mata!
I'm
2
so
for 2
impressed.
on that? He's stepping into unfavorable fights back-to-back times. Wills this round to his team. Now KRU have to retake with an operator on their Neon.
He only has 650 credits as well. Is there even a world to get back into this round? It is difficult.
I don't know if KRU can afford to not put up a fight here.
Go, go, go.
But they're going to have to act quickly if they want to do anything, and instead the decision comes in. They're stepping away from this. Now Kiko, with just the stinger, he's going to be allowed to be free and maybe go for hunt when these smokes fall.
NRG were so thorough. In 2 moments of that round, the re-clear, bottom mid from Mata to catch on to Les, and then again, in that slight gap of the Harbor utility, getting the kill on MW.
It's so tough because it's the right call from Les to hold off on taking the shot. Kiko picks up his gun from before. Because if the first guy doesn't clear you, surely the second guy doesn't clear you.
Nope.
But it's just that moment of hesitation. Even here, yeah, I think Mata realized, like, as he was spinning away, maybe saw something on the minimap from a teammate.
That reaction was so quick, though.
Lightning quick.
And this one as well.
I knew it, bro. I knew it, bro. I knew he was hiding behind his wall.
Had the read on that second player. And with the save, there's still money for KRU. There's still a null command.
Dante's up. Caught behind the Blade Storm. And now blinded up at the same time. Sees that shoulder, but Dante is trying to run away before he even takes that shot. Cowers away from it. Now Les is about to step into 3 players. Again gets picked off. It's been a tough day for him. After being the hero for KRU in their previous matchup. Now the first one to fall a couple rounds in a row.
So it has to be a 4-on-5 retake, but the high tide was already used by Sadak. They have so few pieces to make this happen.
Yeah, Sadak's going for a flank of all things. But NRG have a good position for it. Nice kill from Dante. Kiko uncleared, but he fired off bullets. They've got to know he's in this corner. They have to have the kills quickly. Finally, they come in, but that flank has been held. And now a pit in their eyes. Still utility waiting on the other side. Shock dart, snake bite. Already fired off. Still one more shock against these decayed players. I don't think they're going to have the time here, not unless the picks were to come in instantly. Once more, KRU have to run away, but Silence won't even be able to get out of there in safety. It's looking over as NRG move up to 12.
There were some big opportunities for KRU in that round, and neither of them come to fruition.
Come on, he lives on 10 HP.
And I think the first one was Dante with that operator in mid. He had a shot on a crossing player, but can't catch it. Those players rotating into B, get the free kill onto Les. And then on this flank as well, Sadak with a knife out walking. NRG have been ready for every strange position from KRU. They're watching the flanks. They're clearing people in off angles. This normal disrespectful style that KRU get away with is being punished in droves.
It's just starting to look desperate from KRU.
Here.
Need 4 in a row. And Les is being held. If he challenges this angle too much, Kiko's not going to let him breathe.
KRU style is so reliant on winning those fights.
And I love how Ethan has been able to get away with it. It's such a gutsy play, just be stepping up into A main, but having the read, hey, there's no off gear. They're not like re-clearing me, so he can just stick around here on A main for now. Was trying to pull some attention early, but maybe they just go B anyways.
Kiko's been looking for someone to cross with this op in hand.
Enemy tag.
Drone into mid, we'll see the neon now.
And they hear him running back. That spam from Scuba, that's so good.
No way.
Just off the audio of him retreating.
Yeah, we're primed for it because of the drone spotting him on the runaway. And now NRG, they only have 40 seconds left, but Ethan is reminding his team that A side was doing nothing early in the round.
Oh, Sadok.
Right into the corner. Sadok is gone. Mana has been so good. His clears have been excellent. Doesn't matter if he's playing a duelist or the Harbor. He is leading the charge for NRG. And reminder, Ethan knows this site was looking like easy enough plant here, even with little time on the clock for NRG.
The Viper is holding an op on the flank. Good
Come
night,
on.
Les.
Les has just not been able to play the game. The desperation from KRU means nothing to NRG. Just so drilled, so complete as a team right now. Even Mata just holding there in double doors. KRU are just going out with barely even a whimper. Bested at every front in this map. Silent step straight into Mata. Of course he's going to finish it off. 3 kills for him on the round. An easy work for NRG. There's no more second chances left for KRU as we step into their map pick of Haven. NRG taking them apart back on Breeze here. But Zonic seemed to have some confidence heading in here, some extra information that we haven't been privy to on NRG.
It'll be interesting to see what ideas he has, because the one game we got to watch of NRG on this map looked really great. They debuted their Haven yesterday. They rolled FURIA here 13-8, and they were rocking this Neon Phoenix composition. I loved watching Kiko on the Jet on map 1. I thought his Phoenix on this map was excellent as well.
I thought especially the way on the defense side, which they will be starting on, how they controlled the fights around mid were really good. They had a few aggro looks, they had different trap ideas as well. I think that a large part of that was due to where Kiko was positioning himself on the map. He was kind of the Baron of Garage. KRU not getting, or FURIA rather, never got any chances to go in there.
For sure. For KRU though, this is the high pressure moment for them. A map away from elimination. They've gone into a map that they're coming off of losing to EG on. It was a close loss, sure, but I think some of their weaknesses got exposed there, and certainly it was the same on Breeze. The next thing I noticed was players trying to get away with a little bit too much of contacting into aggressive angles, playing off angles. NRG was so thorough to punish that I want to see KRU returning to less of that kind of play where they're looking to contact into different positions and instead focusing more on how they're fighting together as a team. Because I think their strength in the double duelist comps is how good they are at brawling together, how good their team fights look, and I don't feel like we got a lot of that on map 1.
That's the difference, I would say. I would say KRU's best advantage, you're right, the team fights. But in these long, drawn-out rounds, that's where Ethan is always seemingly able to come up with the answers.
I'm looking at Les as well. He's always been a monster here on Haven when he's playing this lurk role. Got a bit shut down on Breeze.
This time on the Cypher. Just has that camera to patrol the space in mid, and NRG have that 3 stack set up on B.
Yeah, and it's a trap play. Blocks contact, there'll be a relay bolt, a flash, all swinging in.
Yeah, this is one they just ran versus FURIA. A lot of different ideas of how to play for mid, and I think that KRU are sort of expecting to see a re-clear, some amount of information come their way, but now under a minute, they haven't seen anything into this round, not even a recon dart from Brock.
I like the decision to contact here instead of using that flash. They'll be able to walk up quite deep on A and pop before that Cam sees them.
Yeah, Cam will eventually spot them though, and the rotates are already in. 3 players on B are actually headed C because they just saw Sadok down there. So now Scuba left on his own, just sitting inside of this smoke for now.
30 seconds
Dante
left.
was considering whether or not he should step into the ring, but decides against it for now. It's going to be a 5-on-5 retake again for NRG.
If you're KRU, you want to play close here. Use that util you save to be able to fight them in the choke point.
Still a curveball, still a paranoia. This cage disrupts the take out from Heaven. Kiko doesn't even care, he's just jumping straight into the middle of it. Mata looking wild, blasting out from window, but KRU have held this line nicely. Brock's still waiting in heaven. Spotted Les, takes him down low.
One enemy remaining.
Dealing with Les, the first clear challenge to clear, and Scuba will take 3 for the round.
Amazing 3 kills there for Scuba. But I just love the approach from NRG on that retake. They showed that similar trap play like you mentioned in B, but the way they played that retake was not quite this. Watch how that Cypher cage is getting thrown for outside. You see from the player in Hell's perspective that Mata is just charging over their heads, sliding, and fighting the players that are more focused on his teammates flooding in from CT. It's just so disruptive. Yeah, that's what they're having to look at.
I was liking to see Scuba go for the fast re-peek on Les too, not giving him the chance to hide behind the corner.
That goes there.
Seizing the reins there, made the difference for him.
And despite a 13-8 win, that was NRG losing both pistols on map 1. Now they have one here.
Early outlaw for Mata.
Cage triggered.
Well, that's actually spending a couple hundred credits to throw out cages here. Try and control A, but it doesn't matter because Mata's stuck around on the line regardless. Be the pop into B. The fight moves forward here. Dante seems to look to go for that dive, but Brock does a nice job to hold at least for that first kill. The second to be found on Ethan. As more and more NRG players just step up to the challenge, Crew just find themselves a bit scattered and taken out of this round. That's now 5 in these opening 2 rounds for Scuba.
Shame he's playing Cypher.
He's like, give me, I can get ult, guys, give me that one. Best ult in the game right here.
Still a really nice start for NRG. I think in both these rounds they've had incredibly quick reactions at how they're rotating to be able to play this retake. That's part of why I do like them playing this Cypher, that they have a lot of just map presence that you don't have to fight for, and that allows Ethan to really free up Kiko and Mata to just be attached at the hip, running around the map wherever they're needed.
Yeah, and when you have tools of the Neon Stun and the Phoenix Flashes, you have so many options, not just take 1 fight, but 2 or 3 fights during a round.
Mata buys the Outlaw here, but ending up to not find too much value with that weapon saved over, as Everdon Crew has maintained enough resources to get full armor here.
That's that metagaming. You just take the Outlaw in round 2, and that basically dissuades teams from buying up anything on that round. Something you could end up playing with as you get deeper into a tournament when teams are expecting you to do that. All of a sudden change the game, but for now, things stay the same for NRG.
And a solid start here for Crew. They get embeds on A, but a re-clear ready for NRG.
Stun from Mata as Kiko comes running down. No one's even listening to him. He was making plenty of noise on the sprint up. This gives NRG a 3-on-3. By the way, the Spike's still back in spawn.
Still players in these corners as well.
Yeah, and if Les dies, that's going to be rifles potentially secured on top of it. Ethan has a Spectre 4 now, but can now recover something. Upgrade into it as Brock just bests Dante there on a bandit kill, of all things. Sodok's left wondering, where on earth am I supposed to go from here? Does NRG start running away with this map?
It's crazy. Ethan already posted inside of his smoke bottom mid. Guns to be recovered in garage, so Sodok looks to walk through that space, go back towards C, but look how patient NRG is. They're not rushing anything. They're not greeting for guns. They'll just play this 3-on-1 retake together.
Yeah, and they'll be able to pick up those guns if they work back through garage together. Crew's backs are against the wall already. And this is our best team in the group stage. Finish off 4-1. Everyone else is tied 3-2 in the standings. He's the only team to be dropped 1 time. Now in danger of falling down 0-3 in an elimination map. Just their leader in Sodok left alive. Playing the high angle, seeing if he can come up with anything, but now a dart thrown out. That actually wasn't going to see him. He slipped back anyways. Counter paranoia. Need some fights quickly. That'll be the first. How much do you have, Sodok? That double swing is just too good out of NRG. He won't have a chance.
This is a really rough round for Crew to lose. After being perfect in Pistols map 1, to start this down 0-3. And I want to look at this fight in mid, because Kiko should not be allowed to full sprint down here without being punished. You saw Les in that corner. It's his job to swing and stop that fight from happening.
Yeah, the thing is, Les was in his camera watching that, so he's actually not quick enough to get out of his camera once he sees the player and then swing before his teammates are dying. It's just wires crossed there.
And because he's in the cam, obviously you don't hear those steps coming, so you have to rely on a comm or just rely on that timing. Either way, NRG get away with murder in that round.
going out.
And this Outlaw was retained into a round where KRU are forcing with every player on light armor.
That could be ugly. At least KRU is heading away from that right now, but if they pivot back A, that'll be deadly. Right now, Scuba playing on backside. Double trip set up for him to work off of. Already some spam, taking him so low HP. If he gets a kill here, it's a miracle for NRG. Holding on to backside controls, the rest of the team works their way back in. Still 5 players alive, both teams inhabiting the site, and it's Ethan to show up around the bend. 3 and 4, make it 5 for NRG. It is over on KRU's force.
Great cleanup from them. NRG held on to backside control that entire round. The rotates came in just in time. And then the way they approached the fight was excellent. The player from Garage acting as that second layer backstab as you see this double swing from Ethan and from Kiko. Nice flick at the end there to punish Dante as well. And that is just the nail in the coffin for the first half here for KRU almost.
Yeah, I mean,
because they forced into that round. They're going to be going into another eco, looking at a likely 0-5 start on their attack side of Haven.
On their map pick, an elimination map. So yeah, they call a timeout, realize the other team. Now they already got a taste of Brock's Odin. Going for that A lobby spam. That sort of encourages you not to go there early rounds, and you want to re-clear that later, but at the same time, you could be heading into a Mata operator. He's already showed the Outlaw enough. There's money in the NRG camp to purchase it.
Such a terrifying position for KRU to be in. You have to really look back to Les and to Sadak to be the guys to step up in this moment. Such a pedigree for those two. Winning the inaugural season of VCT Americas together. Taking their trip to Europe together as well. And then coming back to be reunited after separating here on this KRU roster.
And with the excitement KRU generated at the start of this stage, everyone was talking, they weren't talking about scraping through in playoffs. They were talking about, hey, this might be the first time we see KRU get to a Masters event in the partnership era, led by those two players.
But now that hope feels a far way off.
After dropping to lower bracket, now they're up against the demons of NRG, the 4th seed, but absolute menaces here. Scuba waits out the stun, and that's just going to be a kill there on the Molly. KRU secure a couple of kills themselves. It's Sheriffs and Stingers, but some upgrades found.
Less fighting CT, but shoved away by this drone, can't find a shot in time.
Look at Ethan just disrespecting the smoke. Knows he has the coverage with the drone leading him in. Then switches over to the support role. Paranoia catches both of these players. Just trying to find some point of respite is MW Zera, but he is down. And so is his teammate. Make that 5 now for NRG.
Man, how confident has Ethan been this series?
Seriously. I mean, you think back on Breeze, him just stepping into A main on his own on the attack side. And here on Haven.
It's been consistent in these playoffs as well. Both games we've gotten to see from this team so far. He has just been willing to take these timings, take these fights. That's how Sadak falls. TP straight into the Molly. Then caught out by the trap wire.
Nice! Come on!
5-0 start for NRG.
Now they've got 4 ultimates. They'll need 1 more point on Ethan, and they'd have the whole. Actually, both teams well on their way here. KRU invest ults here and lose. There's no chance left in this half. This is one they've got to have, Mimi.
It's their round. And they've taken space A long already, but they're waiting for that re-aggression, seeing where NRG wants to press forward.
Yeah, they want to let Silence work up mid a little bit on the Prowler, really putting pressure around the map. Hard position for Scuba to play. He's checking his camera on long, but has no coverage in front of double doors. And now the fight, Silence just has Util in hand. It's a whole blaze wall. Now KRU, we're going to listen to them down a player.
Vocês também.
Cuidado, rato.
Aham.
Mano, ele vai estar de Odin aqui, mira. Acho que eu posso abrir pulando aqui pra vocês.
Pode ser, vai.
Bem, bem. 1, 2.
Botei a miração.
Eles têm 5
tá.
Deixa eu... Mano, pro de novo, pro de novo.
Tá.
Vamos focar CT, faz cachorro, vai.
Vai, isso aqui tá
nada,
take,
nada, pode ser, vamos.
Pode ser flash de
Vou passar para rato aqui, então.
Eu cliquei,
cara CT.
Tá, mano, o cara tá seu já. Tá seu de Odin.
Não vi nada rato, hein, Nada rato, Les.
Vou plantar.
Tá. Deixa eu ali embaixo.
in a must-win round. This is a difficult post-fight for KRU. All 5 ultimates available for NRG on this retake.
And Les is a mile away on the flank. NRG already trading ultimates to get back into the site, but the stall is good. Buying time for Les now. NRG, they can't hear a thing. And now as they blitz their way into the site, MW mows down a couple. NRG continue forward, and Les is just too far away. Neural Theft spots Les. That lurk means absolutely nothing. The plant is wrong for it. Kiko can fully defuse. That was 3 ultimates burnt from KRU, and nothing to be found in the way of a reward.
6-0, now the lead for NRG. And they're continuing to show how good they are at team play, how well put together their retakes are. Look at the approach in this one. They're up a player off of this bit of mistake for silence. But then, the Phoenix ult charging in, the Odin suppressing from heaven, and the trading just absolutely on point. It's been 5 retake rounds won this game so far for NRG.
Yeah, in the control, NRG is just a better team. KRU need to inject some chaos. It'll take some time to restore the chaos, especially with Kiko seizing the reins himself. First kill to NRG.
That looks like Breeze again, where he's just swinging into mid, confident to take these duels once he has the scope in hand.
Now KRU step back into Mata. Les finds a pick over on C. That's something. But again, not sure what the idea is from KRU. They've left the spike back in spawn. There's an Omen ult to recover it, but only if these players stay alive. Sadak is sprinting away. KRU are just all over the place. He's ulting to C. The spike is still back in spawn. Now KRU have plenty of time. There is 1 minute still left on the clock, but I have no idea where they go from here.
The key to this round has to be Les. He showed his hand earlier on this lurk.
But at the same time, Scuba still has control on C. So Les guides Sadak onto this B site instead.
Luckily, that flank will be late. A triple show it. But the Hunter's Fury.
Sadak drops to 1 beam here. Silence as well is low. No shots found. Now 30 seconds left. Les still looking forward into that link space, and the spam could even be here on the retreat. I think Brock was a little bit slow to get up there. Or he had the kill. Doesn't matter though. Mata's there. Full map control from NRG. They have corralled KRU. Mata decisive in his shots. Les alive here. Nice shots from him. That's a couple. But again, there's just too much left in the tank from NRG with how they have dominated these rounds from the beginning.
Les finally gets the lurk kill he wants. He gets a timing into spawn, manages to rotate through, but NRG make him a complete non-factor. The way that they are locking down space on this map, the way that they are recognizing what they have conceded is excellent. Here, you lose a player in Garage, you're immediately refighting short. You're immediately pressing your opponent to make that next play.
I just feel like we got a bit deprived there. Brock not getting the spam kill from B short.
NRG tried this double trip setup the other day when they played Haven. It didn't catch anyone, but KRU is postured for an A hit here.
See how it goes down. Will KRU even make it to the trips? Remains to be seen. That got a lot of damage down on Dante, 53 HP. Sadak low as well. And there you go, first kill for Brock, he falls away. Now no entry. As that spam continues to come down. Good return fire out of Sadak, and now Les is up into the site. KRU are not giving any indication of that approach. NRG completely surprised, but Kiko is right back into the middle of it all. Kiko is dominating KRU once again.
They can win the rounds with control. They can outcall you, but sometimes they'll just step up and win it alone. Kiko, nearly a 4K in that round. What a timing he takes. Because despite the right read, these site anchors fell earlier than they would have hoped. It's only great play from him, diving into the smoke. Getting the flash online. And scattering KRU.
I'm just flying through that, holy.
The sell of this game should have been KRU trying to be the ones disrupting, the ones creating the chaos, fighting together, winning in the brawl. But I think it's been just the opposite. Not only has NRG managed to slow them down, control their pace, but they've also managed to beat them in the rounds that are chaotic.
I mean, they're just killing them out there. We're 8 rounds into the game, Mimi. and KRU have used both of their timeouts. Nothing's working right now. NRG have defused the spike in 6 of these rounds. KRU haven't been able to plant in a couple. Even when the ultimates were online for KRU, that's not working. I'm not quite sure.
And it's so tough to find a solution. Because if you know one thing about NRG, it's when you give them a timeout, when you take your time to try and find something, they're always ready for that next layer. They're always going to show you a new look.
Yeah, that new look being Mata's operator, this time posting down C long. It's been so many of these rounds where Scuba's just had his full kit on C. Last round started switching things up to go over A, and we'll stick around there. KRU are going to have their eyes on the garage here mid. But welcome to Brock's world.
Yeah, trying to punish Les placing that camera.
Go, go, go!
KRU just want to hit into B here.
Yeah, contested for now. It's an early molly on the ground.
At least they want to pressure that they were, but they back away from this. Don't leave an embed.
Yeah, and this is KRU forcing up into this round. Dante goes for the hero rifle. We're down to nothing on a Bulldog.
I just don't know if that pressure is going to do enough for them.
Yeah, Ethan's the guy holding on to A right now. A tripwire placed deep on long for some early info. As he fires down, Sadak chipped away at.
A second player getting into this site, the Sova rotating, the Phoenix on the way.
So many people here from NRG. It's too preempted from NRG. The calling is there, the read is there, and Ethan teleports into the corner. Absolutely brilliant positioning from him. The rest of NRG holding it down as well. KRU are just bested.
This is an open book for Ethan right now. That was out of KRU's second timeout.
I mean, Ethan used the enemy wall, I believe, to TP behind into a pocket with.
The play was so good from him. And then the rotations as well. Look how they're preempting the use of that Phoenix ult, getting 3 players out on site when 10 seconds ago it was only 1. KRU sure they sell pressure mid. But NRG is just cackling at them.
I mean, why not? Up 9-0 now. NRG head back into the early Windows spam to break the tile, but this time have swapped their op and their Cypher. So KRU work mid, but at the same time, full control over long gained by Scuba.
Isn't real this time. They showed the same util pattern, but again, it's fake.
This time they're going back into garage, but I'm really concerned for them. Scuba alive on this site. And Kiko offering some support. Scuba just trying to stay alive inside of that cage, and Les will take him down. Now the fight over backside. KRU finally have some advantage. Tearing apart NRG in this round. Only Brock left alive. The 13-0 has been taken away in a statement round, a flawless for KRU.
Finally on the board. They catch a player out in a bad position for, I think, the first time this game, with Scuba getting the edge of that stun in his cage, falling early as the rest of KRU is charging through.
Yeah, I really think NRG had expected after the fake B hit, that one to be the real exec. It's a good idea from KRU to switch it up.
And now some laps on the other side of the stage.
Now we're gonna need a little bit more though before.
Mata's fighting mid fast this round off a flash.
Yeah, haven't seen much of this from NRG, and MW was waiting for it. There you go. Quick into garage. Scuba, better position this time around on this C site. So many cages to give him that cover to escape. And now 3 players of NRG step in. Mata is already back on plat to take down the first. Now the utility support from Brock pings out 2 players. Prowlers keep Scuba at bay for now. KRU only have 2 players surviving here. They're put into miserable positions. Les now hunted down and taken out. NRG up 10-1.
You can punish him once, but you're not dissuading Scuba from holding his sight 2 rounds in a row. The way that he just absolutely danced around these smokes was perfect. That anchor smoke getting changed to the left side of sight, stepping into that before then going back to his normal position. Back plat. All of it looked on point for NRG.
The revenge tour is well and truly underway for NRG. With quick work of FURIA yesterday. Now on the cusp, knocking out KRU. Cool work down into A early on. A bit delayed on this dart from Brock. And he's stepping into that challenge.
Take flight.
Because the rest of NRG, they have swarmed down through mid, Mimi.
It's so quick, this flank they're on.
Yeah. Brock just wants to keep the pressure up here and try to push KRU back into those flankers, who have now hit the brakes.
Do you read this position? Look at Ethan posted on the windowsill.
No, it's just an easy post up. And MW doesn't want to make it obvious. So now the paranoia. Kiko was just spotted, I do believe. He might have just been able to see Dante. What do you have, Dante? Not prepared enough. Kiko turns away from the flash. Could not find the third. KRU are already down a man, but Les has found a lurk into the C side.
Still, it's a retake. And it's a man advantage for NRG yet again.
NRG have some big tools to get back into the site. Ethan can scout out with the ultimate.
And even then, look at the time they're taking. They'll re-clear mid. Sure that no lurk is coming. Les, though, working around the world, but he'll be revealed by that ultimate.
Scuba finally given a corpse. Les was trying to patrol that line, but now an ultimate down long. Ethan's a little bit wild for that one. Will be knocked out by Les. That evens the score, but Les is so low on HP. A nice tripwire. Sadak unable to play off of it, and now back into the corner. Sadak needs more. Les has nothing left to fight with. 3 health is all he's got. With the lasers at the ready, Mata won't let him move an inch. NRG just crushed in this opening half.
This is their map pick. This is their stage on the line. And NRG are absolutely dominating them. I thought that they saw Kiko as he jiggled back into that corner, but no one was ready for it. Except 2 kills. And Mata there to close out another retake for NRG.
Doesn't get any simpler than that for NRG. 11-1. We'll be right back.
Quiero ganar un trofeo, ¿no? Sea una Masters o hasta una Champions en general para KRU, porque es el equipo que siempre quise competir. O sea, yo realmente mis inicios en mi carrera fue gracias a que yo vi a KRU en ese gran mundial en el 2021. Entonces es algo que me gustaría darle a la organización, darle a los chicos también, ¿no? Al equipo, al staff en general. Y eso creo que es algo que me motiva también de cierta forma a buscar ese trofeo.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Well, I was glad to hear Dante wants to win the trophy. Let's see how much KRU want to stay in this tournament, because right now, Mimi, it is looking absolutely dire.
11-1 at the half. NRG came in prepared. They've dominated this game so far. This win would put them just one more match away from that last slot at Masters London. And for KRU, at this point, they just seem like a small obstacle in the way.
Yeah, I think at this point, KRU just looking for any glimpse of a chance at hope. You can work with that and then advance into something. We're already here into the pistol round. NRG took the first of this map, but KRU took both back on Breeze.
Look at how they're playing this, though. Literally just sitting in spawn.
After their defensive half, where NRG just started at a certain point running down at KRU, now they're giving KRU a chance to flex those muscles, I suppose.
To their credit.
I wonder what they're talking about when they're just sitting back in spawn waiting.
Might just be
What
silent.
do you guys want to get for dinner later today?
Yeah, might be looking ahead.
Well, the Haunt didn't see anything. That's got to confuse Crew, because they've got a camera for C and the forward line held on A. Well, we're going to have a chance to now listen to the comms of NRG.
Get spotted, yeah.
Let's face.
I need you to retake B. I need you to retake B with my smoke right now.
I'm a
Smoke anything?
Dart now.
There's no walk in.
They John smoke.
Walk.
See long.
Go. It's only Omen.
I'm gonna blind this guy.
30 seconds left.
Blinding default now.
A lot spawn.
I'm holding blind.
Go. Flash.
Backside.
A lot backside.
Graffiti a lot.
2 backside.
Holding right.
Graffiti.
Swing left. Everyone left.
Default.
Default, stuck default. Default spawn.
Flanking backside.
Go fight, guys. Go fight. You'll get flanked.
Player standing. Spike down.
Nice try.
Fuck yeah, I can't blind behind you.
How about that? A 4K from Sadok to start this half off the right way for Crew.
Still, I think to talk about that, listen in for a second. That was really nicely done by NRG. I like to hear, I think the best teams are the ones that can keep it calm while still having great intent as to how they want to approach these rounds. Here it was, you hear Mata, even though he dies early on that one, calling the double swings for his teammate, setting up late. Ethan as well once he falls, trying to go for those same things. Here though, Sadok just a bit better.
Yeah, it's a shame he didn't tell them to just kill Sadok.
Maybe he should have.
That might have fixed the round for NRG.
Yeah, very insightful from you.
Full classics for NRG now. Oh, wow. Stepping up there for the challenge. Scuba still feeling a little bit of confidence on that one. You have some control of this B side, but nobody's clearing less. He's not at risk of donating much over it, just a sheriff in his hands, but that's all he really needs. Probably 3 now, and somehow Mata on the other side of this one. You're wondering what's going on. How's the Neon behind us in our own spawn?
Scuba's there as well.
One enemy remaining.
He'll get shut down. So something for Crew early on.
Yeah, the thing is, they really bought down here, everyone except for Les, so it's not like they're going to have the options to buff themselves up with real rifles in the next round, which you can't afford to take the bonus.
Sure. Les, though, keeping just a sheriff in this round will allow him to get a hero rifle.
Yeah.
And, you know, if I'm thinking the player that I want that to have, it'd probably be Les.
It's more thinking about how these Bulldogs are going to square up in the next round, because remember, it was NRG that actually on the weaker weapons took out Crew on the 3rd round of this game, is what started the snowball in their favor. But maybe some life now for Crew. See what they've got. They actually do find themselves a Vandal and a Phantom heading into this next.
It's a pretty solid buy. It takes a long time to start to believe in something here. This gives them a chance, though. NRG's buying all the way down. They'll fight for a long control initially.
Kiko chooses not to send the flash yet.
I like Crew's proactivity. They've already walked Sadok into the C extremity.
I really like this setup. Kiko's just holding the curveball in case there's a refight through that smoke on A long. Wouldn't hit his teammates, would instantly stop Crew from being able to push through that. Now that the smoke fades, he can of course fall away.
They'll embed a player towards A long and rotate back mid. Put some pressure here.
But with Sadok's forward position on C, Crew don't have to over-rotate too much.
You see that Prowler being sent up through short. That doesn't see anything on A.
Ooh, Drone gets all the way up there to see Les. Wonder if Les stuck around to intentionally be seen to try and do some baiting for Sadok down here.
Hearing that Neon should be a bit of a tell for NRG, that it's a heavier play on that A side of the map.
Sadok was in his smokes, but he's all right. NRG are going to realize that the C side is pretty open, but the critical kill this round is whether or not Sadok can deal with Scuba. If he stays alive, he is a permanent problem for NRG. If he falls, there's no way back in, but he gets his kill and he gets another! 2 shots, 2 down. Switches over into the Vandal. And now NRG set their eyes a different direction. Look how far back Crew are playing, enticing NRG to step forward into them. Those shots need to go their way. All of a sudden, the trade's not quite there in time, and NRG evened it up. 2-on-3 now as Brock holds down the line. This will have to be Sadok all the way. A 1-on-2, and he is not gonna be able to come up with anything. You thought for a moment he was the hope for Crew, but NRG snatch it away.
It's unreal that NRG get away with that round win. Off of Sadok's wonderful 2K here. That second shot was so precise from him. His team is crunched back towards spawn, waiting for the re-aggression. And that very push comes, but they're just not able to trade each other out of it. And NRG, ecstatic to get away with that one, to try and close this one out quickly as KRU will cobble another bye together. As NRG start this round the same way as the last.
KRU started off this stage. A loss to FURIA, a loss to KRU. Now they get to start their playoffs with exactly those same matchups. Already dealt with the former. Now just the finishing touch required on the latter.
That revenge tour well underway for NRG. But KRU making a play this round. Sidak again stepping up into short, a chance for him.
NRG slide into it. MW is there, staying alive for now as the flank comes online as well. KRU have held the line, but not in the face of Brock. Brock is in such a weird position right now. There's a player on his flank and now going for the drone. That's going to be an easy kill from Sadak. Scuba needs to get back, recover the spike, and still has someone to step out from double doors. Les going to catch him on the retreat and keep KRU in this.
I like that even though they're down so far, KRU is not afraid to take risks. I think one of the biggest strengths of their defensive side is their proactivity, and they're willing to continue to press an advantage. You see it here again. Les walking down mid late earlier, Sidak going for that kind of timing push out short that rewards him with the kill onto Brock. Oops. They're just playing it round by round.
NRG not taking any chances. The near full save from them.
And that's the exact call. When you're up this big, you just take no risk, you build up your ultimates, and you get one round that's looking like a checkmate.
Yeah, you permit the fake comeback by handing some rounds over. NRG want nothing to do with the garage, but like you were saying with KRU taking some chances still, it's interesting to see Les just walk all the way forward here. Be a rifle, he's at risk of giving over, but gives perfect information over towards KRU. One player spotted, that'll be another. A little bit messy, and with the trade, that could have been a rifle. Still more players on the other side, though. In garage, Sadak just found his mark, and I'm not sure exactly what he's supposed to do with the classic here. 2 kills is honestly impressive. Let's see what Ethan can do with a rifle in hand. A kill is the ultimate unlocked. W. It's a true one-on-one. Are you joking? That's the ult ripped over into the A side. Ethan might just want to get this done right here, right now.
Sidak has to save his team again against the other IGL.
21 HP. If Ethan kills this, he is absolutely ridiculous. He is out of his mind! Ethan steps up and sends KRU home. The revenge tour continues for NRG.
That is an unreal clutch to close this series for Ethan. From a classic 2K to this impeccable kill through the box.
Oh, he saw barely a kneecap for that one.
It's the IGL to bring his squad home. Back-to-back 2-0s for NRG.
And that has just got to fuel you as a team, right? You come into playoffs, you start in the lower bracket, so right now you're still undefeated. You dominate 2 different teams you lost to in the group stage. And now you are the team everyone fears here down in the lower bracket.
And it's everyone stepping up. Kiko on the duelist looked incredible. Brock is still hitting some of his peak form. This is the team to watch down in this lower bracket.